welcome to this week's reading vlog. I'm going to try to do more of a week in the lifestyle vlog this week because I really need to kickstart my reading of my 2025 new releases. I have a large TBR of 2025 books that I'm trying to make my way through before the end of the year. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. It has been a really great weekend so far. Yesterday, my son and I drove out to a flower farm and we bought this gorgeous arrangement from a local flower farmer. And we really just had like a buy local morning where we went to a local coffee shop and a local donut shop. And that was really fun to do. And then one of his best friends had a birthday party and a sleepover. And today we have pretty much just been working around the house. The last game of my baseball season was today. And unfortunately, the Mets lost and they are not going to be in the postseason. So the only good news about that is I'm going to have a lot more time in October to read. So let's get started on this week's reading vlog. I am currently reading The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I am currently only on page 22, so I am not very far into this. I am enjoying it so far. We are following a set of twins who have been called to the emperor with their mother. And at this point, we don't know if it's good or bad. It has been quite some time since their father tried to kill the emperor and was designated a traitor. So we don't know why they have been called. I'm really enjoying the writing so far and getting to know the characters. I'm really interested in, I don't know what you call it. There's 8 palaces, 8 groups, 8 factions, and I'm interested about the people who are in these different factions. I'm assuming that our main character is going to wind up being a raven, which I don't think that she's going to be very excited about. So I'm interested, and I am hoping to finish this week and hopefully read another book or 2 while we're in this vlog. This cover is beautiful though. That was originally what brought me into wanting to read this book, was the cover. And then I kept hearing all of the praise and that it was a fantasy book and also a dark academia mixed with a murder mystery. And it's also really super thick. So I was hoping that this was a book that I could get really obsessed with. So we'll definitely see how it goes and I will keep you posted. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking. My kid just got home and I had accidentally locked him out of the house and it's kind of chaos right now. So you may hear the dogs barking. It is Monday night. It is actually pretty late. It's after work, but I normally have a pretty decent commute as it is. But I had to stop at the grocery store on the way home. We were pretty much out of everything. So it's really late and I wanted to make sure I gave you an update on how much I read yesterday. I am at 70 pages of The Raven Scholar. The first 50 pages are part 1 of this book. I was pretty hooked through part 1. I enjoyed the writing and I like the fact that I didn't know what was going to happen and where things were going to go. Things were consistently shocking me and I found that an enjoyable way to get hooked into the story. And then at the end of part 1, there was a time jump. And I was worried because I'm usually not a fan of time jumps, but it's actually been okay so far. In part 2, we have a lot of characters that keep getting introduced, so I'm not actually sure who our main protagonist is, but I am really enjoying this and I have a long way to go yet. And I was hoping to read about 150 pages today. It is so late and we have not even done dinner yet. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but I will keep you updated and we'll see how it goes. is Tuesday evening, and I was able to come home straight from work today. So I do have a little bit more time this evening than I had yesterday. Hopefully, you have just seen some footage of me book shopping at Barnes& and Noble for my lunch today. So I do have a book haul. Let's see. The first one I'm going to be reading out of this stack, which is going to be as soon as I finish The Raven Scholar, is The Ghost Woods by C.J. Cooke. This is a crumbling manor in the middle of the woods, and the manor is haunted, or I think the woods, it is called the Ghost Woods, so it's probably the woods that are haunted. This is the October pick for the Horror Spotlight Discord. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to join us. And then I have Sarah Gailey's newest book called Spread Me. And in this one, there is some kind of a parasitic organism that is trying to find a host. And I think maybe our main character is going to be the host for this organism. I bought this because it's Sarah Gailey. Just Like Home is one of my favorite ghost stories. So I'm really looking forward to reading that one. And I also got What Stalks the Deep by Kingfisher. This is the third book in the Sworn Soldier series. It's the one that has What Moves the Dead and They Feast at Night, What Feasts at Night, What Feasts at Night. I don't know what this third one is even about. The first one, What Moves the Dead, is a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. And then What Feasts at Night, I don't even really remember what happened in that one, but I'm still looking forward to reading this one anyway. It's pretty short, so, and I love Kingfisher, so I will definitely be reading that one. And this next one, the bookseller at Barnes& Noble was actually afraid that they were going to run out of copies today. She said they didn't get enough, even though there was a whole table full of them. And that is Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. I got this because I love Lynn Painter. I think this one is a young adult. She writes adult and young adult and now middle grade as well. But her Better Than the Movies was a young adult release, and I gave that one 5 stars. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm assuming that it's fake dating and they are ice skaters. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm sure it's going to be adorable. And then I also bought Bride by Ali Hazelwood. The sequel to this comes out in a couple of weeks, and I've really fallen in love with Ali Hazelwood this year, and I want to read the new one. So I'm going to go ahead and read Bride so that I can read Mate. And that is it for my book haul today. Let me grab these. And unfortunately, it does make my end of the year TBR, my TBR countdown, even longer because these are all 2025 releases. Well, I need to read Bride in order to read a 2025 release. So I'm going to have to figure out how to squeeze all of these in. And let me go ahead and give you an update on The Raven Scholar. I only managed to read 30 pages last night. I'm on page 103, so still not very far into it. I am enjoying it though. I'm really enjoying the characters, and even the characters that are dislikable characters. I like the dislikable characters, right? They're interesting. So really in this, I think I just need a week off of work so I can read it. But I do have extra time tonight. I'm about to go fix dinner. One of my kids has one of his friends over, so I need to figure out what everybody is in the mood for. And I'll either update you tonight or I'll pop back in tomorrow and let you know how far I got. friends. You're going to have to bear with me a little bit. It is now Friday evening. I think the last time we spoke was Tuesday. When Wednesday rolled around after work, I was already suffering from a migraine. And when I got home, I really considered pulling up my camera and just saying, "Hey, I've got a migraine. I'm not going to do any reading." But I honestly did not even want to whisper. So I didn't pull out my camera. And then Thursday, I was just wiped out. Migraines usually take me out for a couple of days. And I did go to work Thursday. So I just came home and crashed. I'm a lot better today. I didn't read any during that time. I just have what I read Tuesday night. So 145 pages into this. I did make it through part two. There's not a jump between part two and part three like there was after part one. The jump after part one was like 8 years long, but that wasn't even that bad. Normally I have trouble reorienting myself, but it really wasn't that bad this time. But I have made it to part three. I am really enjoying this. This has the potential to be a 5-star read for me. Again, I'm only 150-ish pages in, so we'll have to see how this goes. I'm hoping to read this tonight and definitely this weekend. I do have a few things that I want to do tonight. One of them, this TBR cart, I usually use for my crafts. I cross stitch and I usually put my supplies and stuff in here. Right now, I just have some fabric that I make my project bags out of and just a few things. But I'm thinking about putting my end of the year TBR on here and using it as an actual TBR cart in order to put those books that I really want to focus on between now and the end of the year. So I'm thinking about doing that tonight before I sit down to read because I think that would be fun and it would actually free up some space on my shelves as well. So I think we should do that. I think I'm going to do that tonight. Okay, sounds good. It is now Saturday afternoon. I had a bit of a busy morning. I had some errands to run and some things to do with my oldest child. And I've been getting a lot of stuff done around the house, watering the plants. And oh, you may see that some books I put on the TBR cart last night are back on the shelves. I decided that I didn't really like them on the TBR cart as much as I thought I would. So they are back on the shelf here, and I did do some reorganization of those and the books that are over here. So I am glad that I did pull them out so I could reorganize them just a bit. And let's see, I am to page 200 on the Raven Scholar. I see where the murder mystery comes into this. I'm still really enjoying it, but I'm going to put this one down for a little bit today so that I can start the Ghostwoods by C.J. Cooke. This is the October pick for the Horror Spotlight Discord, and the read along started a few days ago, so I want to read a little bit of this so I can update my Discord on where I'm at. And I think I've already talked about this a little bit, where it's a crumbling manor in the woods and the woods are haunted. I will check back in with you after I've read a bit so I can let you know a little bit more. Okay, so I am 25 pages into the Ghost Woods, and I hadn't realized, but this is a horror story of unwed mothers that are going to this crumbling manor in order to give birth. But it is also a fungal horror, and that part of it has me excited and interested. It is a mushroom fungal infestation. I'm not really sure how these are going to tie together, but that piece of it does have me interested. So I am going to keep reading this one for a while more before I switch back to the Raven Scholar. And I did just realize that the cover is filled with these little mushrooms, so maybe I should have realized earlier that it was going to be a fungal horror. I finished reading The Raven Scholar and I loved it so much. As this book went on, it continued to get more weird, more imaginative, more impossible, and I absolutely loved it. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I'm just going to say that it is full of political intrigue and mystery and complex characters and just really impossible, imaginative fantasy. And I'm so excited about this. I hate that I'm going to have to wait for the next book. I'm hoping that it comes out next year. I feel like I heard this is a trilogy. I'm not sure, but I'm just really excited about this one. If this has been on your radar, if you like fantasy, this is not a romantasy. There is a romantic element in here, but it's just an element, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. This is just a genre bending kind of a trip that kind of goes off the rails a bit, and I never knew what to expect. And I feel like nothing that I assumed was going to happen actually happened. Things happen that I absolutely did not expect to happen. I had a really good time with this, and there are a couple of characters that I just loved so dearly. This is definitely going to be one of my favorites of the year. I had such a fun time and I highly recommend it. I am going to end the vlog here. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.